Oh no, I'm late!
Well, finally, we're back. Good news, everyone, is most certainly in order because today we'll be discussing the all-new Futurama Season 13 trailer and speculating on the latest batch of episodes now releasing all in one go. And there's some great stuff to explore, such as Bender fighting Kaijus, arguments over global extinction, yet another rival going after Leela's affection, an unsettling night out in robot hell, and Amy confessing things that we already knew.
I'm bisexual.
Same as usual, there are 10 brand new episodes, this time all dropping on September 15th. I'll be honest, not really sure what to make of this new delivery method, shall we call it, compared to weekly episodes. We can only speculate over whether this binge drop is going to negatively impact the future of the series. Of course, now it's got competition with King of the Hill's revival, and I felt the weekly episodes for Futurama helped the show remain topical, giving it a little bit more longevity where it's talked about for much longer. Ah well, hopefully it won't be forgotten and the episodes themselves will speak for the show's continued success. Remember folks, it just won't stay dead.
Hail science!
Providing more context to the trailer footage, I'll be referencing this article written by Collider, who this year are partnering with Hulu to push the show's advertising. And it looks as though a lot of the footage comes from this episode titled Destroy Tall Monsters, where Bender gets taller, much taller. Didn't we already see this?
I know, I liked it. I want to see it again.
I'd arguably say we know the most about this one, and we do luckily have all the other episode titles to further speculate on. Destroy Tall Monsters is the season premiere discussed at San Diego Comic-Con 2025 and is written by co-creator David X. Cohen, and Bender is fighting a knockoff Godzilla monster. Similar to the likes of Pacific Rim, Fry and Leela are then seen operating his oversized body, puppeteering him, and there's a couple of shots from this fight scene, one where Bender is knocked onto his shiny metal ass, and the other where he's back up and fighting again, and you can see an imprint he left behind in the second shot, so maybe this is where Fry and Leela step up to take control of him. Another question, how did Bender get so tall in the first place? Well, to everyone's shock, mainly the professor, he confesses to taking a steroid called D-roids, or droids I guess. And another point I wanted to bring up, the writers may have in fact foreshadowed this story in the first batch of Hulu episodes, despite not knowing if the show would even be renewed. In the episode I Know What You Did Next Xmas, when the professor uses the time machine, there's a split-second shot of a giant Bender destroying the Planet Express building, and it could be considered a reach, but the only previous episodes that could have had anything relating to this scene are Anthology of Interest Part 1 and Bender Armor. It's confirmed that Dan Castellaneta will be reprising his role as the Robot Devil, and the character is apparently going to feature in the season premiere episode, unless he's featured in more than one. I'm guessing the robot hell scenes will therefore also be part of Destroy Tall Monsters. Hell's the destination for a good night out apparently. We don't see too much of this in the teaser, but a set of pins released at San Diego Comic-Con were themed around this bar sequence. Fry, Bender and Leela are dressed for the occasion, and even Roberto makes a brief cameo dressed as a hotel bellboy complete with stabbing knife. Before this teaser trailer dropped, things were all quiet on the future front until July 21st when a few images dropped, two of which showed the bar scene with the three characters seated, and the Robot Devil pouring a fiery beverage of some description. There's more to this revealed in the trailer where Bender hits on a conjoined couple, that's a new one. Another environmental episode is on the cards titled The World is Hot Enough, and this is where we see the characters sunbathing in the Planet Express building. Last season's Attack of the Cloves was one of my personal favourites, and I feel the show has some excellent ideas, especially when it comes to subjects like environmentalism. The Professor warns of a global extinction event with Dr. Banjo showing up, a fight breaks out with Mom slapping her sons and Dr. Banjo, and more preview images from July look to be from this episode with Nixon, Agnew, and Bill Nye's head caught in the conflict. There's also a shot of the crew inside the Planet Express ship with the interior on fire, and I'm going to assume this brief shot of a volcano erupting is also part of the episode. There's a few shots spread throughout the trailer of characters dealing with random wild animals, Zoidberg being chased by bears, Leela holding up a dead plant with a juggling gorilla in the background. Fry appears to have his hands full with two baby polar bears looking super adorable, And in this same scene, the Preacher Bot gets a line of dialogue, and to be honest, I don't recall him having any lines in the revival so far. Usually he's voiced by Phil Lamar, but I can't quite tell if it's still him voicing the character this time. He just sounds a little off, but maybe that's just age. Fry and Leela's relationship looks to be put to the test yet again. Bender accidentally unravels conflict between them both where they disagree on what makes them suitable for one another. And most likely, as part of the same plot, there's yet another rival for Leela's affection, an unnamed new character chasing down Fry, and it's amusing how dropping his pants in such a way looks to have now become an ongoing gag like in the episode Parasites Regained.
Sorry, guys. I'm a flatty.
Injuring themselves, Fry's new rival looks to have caught Leela's attention, and I'm hoping there'll be more to this story and that it doesn't mess with the established relationship. We've had Fry and Leela as a will they won't they spectacle for most of the series, with the Hulu revival doubling down on them remaining a couple, and it'd be a shame to undo their relationship, especially this far into the series. A couple of random and more sporadic shots are placed throughout the teaser, such as a collapsing magnetar similar to what we saw in the episode All the Way Down, and it was confirmed at San Diego Comic-Con that this is from the episode Wicked Human, where the cast did a fun table read of the first act. Possibly from the same episode, there's a shot of the professor's body being twisted around. We may be getting another Xmas story with Fry setting up the defense systems while Zoidberg snacks on a candy cane. Bender's rocking some very fun outfits this season generally. Zap and Kif appear together for a brief moment, and judging from the banner behind them, they'll be the focus of the episode titled Scared Screenless, likely some form of commentary on phone addiction perhaps? I'm not sure what the relevance of Leela carrying this dead plant is, and why Terry from Applied Cryogenics is in their apartment. It looks like he's trying to surprise Leela, only to just get a swift kick instead. I did also notice in the background there's a framed photo of Fry and Leela from the Western cryptocurrency episode, which is a fun little Easter egg. On the subject of Fry, Bender, and now Leela's apartment, I forget that she moved in with them. This gag with Hermes and the Professor really cracked me up looking at a USB slot. Apparently USB is now a new name after the collapse of the USA. Phenomenal line delivery from Billy West. I've said it many times, but the Professor has been one of the best parts of this revival of Futurama. The trailer ends on a funny dialogue exchange, which I'm guessing is from the episode 50 Shades of Green. During a couple's dinner, Amy randomly throws out a fact that I think we all could have guessed, that she's bisexual. Immediately, I was thinking of a certain scene from Bender's Game. Again, maybe there's more to this, unless it's just a throwaway line of dialogue and therefore doesn't actually have any relevance to the plot of an upcoming episode. I suppose time will tell. Other episode titles we have not mentioned yet include The Numberland Gap and Murderoni. Both of these two, unfortunately, we don't really have too much to draw on to further speculate. We do know a little bit about the episode Crab Splatter, however. Assuming this is the correct title, it was discussed during an interview at San Diego Comic-Con 2024 this time. David X. Cohen and Claudia Katz mentioned an episode about the ancient history of Zoidberg's planet was in the works. The Trouble with Truffles is the 9th episode, the title being a parody of the Star Trek episode The Trouble with Tribbles. And usually this is where we have an anthology story, but there's been no mention of one this season, so far anyway. Sadly, those episodes aren't too popular to begin with. Finally, we conclude this season with The White Hole, and in the same interview I mentioned from just before, it was revealed that the season finale would revolve around the life and death of Scruffy the janitor. Now, I can't imagine for 1 minute they would permanently kill off Scruffy. I am wondering if this will relate to a throwaway line from the episode Law and Oracle. Hermes is quoted saying, "There'll be no promotions unless somebody dies, and even then, only if we can't bring them back as a zombie like Scruffy." If the writers created a Scruffy-centric story based on this one gag, I'd be very impressed. Plus, Scruffy is overdue for his own episode, even though I feel the character works perfectly in short bursts, kinda leaving you wanting more, I guess, but he has become more of a main character as the show has progressed.
Life and death are a seamless continuum.
When it comes to marketing these new episodes, I'm still surprised that the show relies on the phrase "from the creator of The Simpsons" in its trailers. Surely after all this time, Futurama can stand on its own 2 feet. But either way, I'm so glad to see the series continuing to thrive. I am skeptical about the new binge method of dropping all of the episodes at once. I do much prefer the weekly approach where it draws people in, people discuss the show for much longer. You'd be surprised, I've seen comment sections online where even fans of the show still have no idea it was revived once again. What does that tell you about the marketing? Well, it may need some work. And with the release of the trailer, there was also a brand new poster, and as always, the artwork looks stunning. Also, is that one of the nudist scammers from Bender's Big Score taking a bath like Cleveland from Family Guy?
No, 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 no!
Anyway, that's going to wrap up this trailer breakdown and analysis covering what we can expect from Futurama Season 13. I hope you did enjoy. I will cover the season to some capacity on the channel, whether that be individual episode reviews like the last two seasons. I'm honestly not too sure. Is this something people are still interested in watching? I kept it up for both new seasons since the views did remain consistent throughout. Sadly, this might prove more challenging with the entire season releasing all at once. We'll work something out, but anyway, please do leave me a like down below. As always, it's very much appreciated. Comment below your thoughts and theories on the upcoming episodes, and for more videos, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel at DVD Review Studios.
Are you threatening me?